Good morning, or good afternoon, I probably should say. I apologize, we're a little late in getting this out this morning. But rather than giving a devotional from a passage of Scripture as we've been accustomed to doing, really this morning I want to ask for your prayers. I've been reading the book of Judges, and if you've read Judges in the Old Testament, you know that it is the story of God's people sort of downward spiral away from Him. And the book is called Judges because that's what the leaders of God's people were called. The recurring statement throughout the book is there was no king in Israel, and everyone did what was wise in his own eyes. And that's true of God's people, but is also equally true of their leaders. And the book of Judges is one big cautionary tale for what happens when the leaders of God's people are far from Him and are foolish and unwise, and kind of the effect and the damage that does to God's people. And so this morning, as I've been reading that book and I've been watching the news that many of you are watching, I'm seeing a lot of discussions about how we as a state, how we as a country open things back up and get started again and trying to recover and move towards a sense of normalcy. And I just want to confess to you that there is no roadmap for what that looks like. And there are a lot of varying opinions about how churches should do that. And so I'm asking that you would pray for me as your pastor. I'm asking that you pray for our church leadership for this, that we would make wise and godly decisions that are in the best interest of all of the people that God has entrusted to us. That's what Hebrews 13 says, that my job as a pastor is, that our job as church leadership is to care for those that have been entrusted to us, literally whose souls have been entrusted to us. And so I know in the coming days and in the coming weeks, there are going to be a lot of opinions that are spouted about what churches ought to do, what churches should do that's faithful, what unfaithfulness looks like. And the reality is, as we've said it again and again, no one knows what the absolute best practice is because no one has done this before. So I need your prayers. We need your prayers to make wise decisions. And they may not be popular decisions, but wise decisions that are for the good of all of our church body. And I'm reminded again and again in Judges what happens when we don't do that. And so I'm fearful of making the wrong decisions, just being honest. That's a fear that all of us in leadership have. And so I need your prayers. I love you deeply. We want to care for our church family and be wise as we long to meet together again. So would you pray for me along those lines? I would really appreciate it. I'm so looking forward to seeing you again. I'm praying for you, and we will talk to you soon.